Y'all not gonna believe what just went down in the industry this week? I'm talking broken friendships. IG lives getting deleted and fans straight up losing their minds. The sixth god himself, yes, Drake tried to swoop in and play peacemaker. But instead, he flipped the whole game on its head. What was supposed to be a low-key apology behind the scenes turned into a full-blown circus, complete with leaked DMIs, studio snitching, and a surprise pull-up at a rival's private party that got real messy real fast. And now everybody's pointing fingers. Some say Drake got set up, some say he wanted the drama to go viral. But one thing's for sure. The internet is officially broken. Sources close to the situation say it all started when Drake reached out to squash an old beef. But the moment that message hit the wrong inbox, it unleashed a chain of events nobody saw coming. We got rappers exposing text receipts on live, baby mamas throwing subliminals, one major industry cosign that turned its back on Drizzy in the heat of it all. And let's not even talk about what happened at that LA studio last Friday. Hugh, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a diamond-encrusted OVO chain. Stick around, because this story has everything. Betrayal, celebrity sneak, disses. Leaked footage from a private security cam, yes, for real. And an unexpected twist that might just bring to rap empires crashing down. You thought you knew what was going on with Drake. Nah fam, this ain't your usual champagne poppy headline. This time, he tried to fix it. And ended up setting the whole culture on fire. Grab ya snacks. It's about to get spicy. It all started with a cryptic Instagram story. Just a black screen and one word in white text. Rebuild. No tag, no context, no music. Just that. Within minutes, fans were speculating, was it about Kendrick? Was he talking about J. Cole? Was it another sub for Pusha T? The comment sections exploded. Even some big-name blogs reposted it with captions like Drake bout to shake the table again. But nobody knew just how messy it was about to get. Turns out, that post was the calm before a storm that would leave the industry in shambles. Sources close to Drake say he had been trying to squash a long-standing issue with a certain rapper whose name starts with a T. And no, it ain't Tyga. Behind closed doors, Drake had been texting, calling, and even sending mutuals to try and mend fences. Word is he was in a rebuilding season, trying to make peace with everyone before dropping his next project. He wanted a clean slate, a drama-free rollout. But somewhere along the way, that olive branch got flipped into a firebomb. The first real sign of trouble came when a leaked voice note surfaced. In it, you could clearly hear Drake speaking calmly, saying, "Look, I'm not trying to go back and forth no more. We too grown for that. I'm down to sit down and talk man to man." The audio wasn't meant for public ears, but once it hit the blogs, it was a wrap. Some fans applauded the maturity while others called him soft. And then boom, out of nowhere. Rapper Trouble J responded on Twitter with a no-deleted tweet, "Man to man. Nah, we playin' chess, not checkers. Keep that energy." And just like that, the internet went nuclear. Drake, who had been quiet since the leak, broke his silence with a simple post, a picture of him in the studio with the caption, "They gon' say I'm petty, but I'm honest." No names, no direct shots, but fans connected the dots. The blogs went crazy and the comments were split right down the middle. Some were like, he tried to be peaceful and y'all still pressed. While others were like, nah, he knew exactly what he was doing. But the real twist? Someone from Drake's own camp leaked DMs between him and Trouble J, and let's just say, they were not as peaceful as that voice note made it seem. In the messages, Drake said, "You steady talking slick like you forgot who made this lane possible for you. Don't get brave now," Trouble J fired back. "Bro, you ain't been outside in years. All that Canada love don't work here. Keep it cute." And just like that, any chance of peace was dead in the water, and that's when things really started spiraling. Not even 24 hours later, a clip surfaced of Drake's ex. Yeah, that ex. The one with the fashion brand and the wild podcast, sitting down on a live stream with none other than Trouble J. Fans instantly lost it. Was she being petty? Was she caught in the crossfire? Turns out it wasn't a coincidence. She admitted on the stream, J. Cool? He speaks his mind. He not scared to challenge that lil Canadian narrative. Shady, messy, and timed a little too perfectly. But what had everyone talking was what happened after the stream ended. Because minutes later, she posted and deleted a photo of her and Drake from 2018 with the caption, "Funny how they all want to be you." Now everybody was like, hold on, is she playing both sides? Was this all a setup? The blogs had a field day. Fans started digging up old tweets, piecing together timelines. And suddenly, the phrase "Drake tried to fix it" was trending, but not in the way he had hoped. And it only got worse. At this point, Drake had gone completely silent. No posts, no stories, not even a like. But his right-hand producer, Benny, decided to speak out. He went live and said, "Funny how folks want to act like they wasn't begging for a verse last summer. Now they got amnesia." That's when fans remembered that Trouble J had teased a collab with Drake last year that never dropped. Benny continued, "Man tried to show love, and y'all bit the hand. That's why we keep receipts." Cue chaos, because just hours after that, live, Drake's team dropped a snippet of an unreleased track, and it was basically a lyrical nuke. It wasn't on any official page, just leaked to a low-key SoundCloud with no cover art, no credits. But the bars, direct, disrespectful, and clearly aimed. Tried to build bridges. "You burned M for clout. Now you sittin' with my ex. Trying to run your mouth, but you ain't in my league. Boy, stay in your route, trying to climb my throne. But the king's still about." Fans were shook. The comments exploded. Even big names in the industry like Meek, Sha, and even Quavo dropped cryptic comments under blog reposts. Meek wrote SHE. Same cycle every year. Sha posted "Y'all messy AF." And Quavo just dropped a pair of eyes. And just when everyone thought it couldn't get more dramatic, it did, because that same night, Trouble J showed up uninvited to a private industry event in Law. Guess who else was there? Drake. Yup. In the same building. According to multiple eyewitnesses, Drake was inside chillin', sipping his drink, surrounded by his usual circle. Then the room got tense. Phones started going up. Security started moving funny. And in walked Jay. No invite, no warning. Now listen, there was no physical altercation. Nothing wild. But what did happen was even more savage. Drake reportedly stood up, looked dead at Jay and said, "You really came all this way for attention." Then walked out the room. No yelling. No security dragging anybody. Just that cold, calculated dismissal. But of course, somebody filmed it. And before the night was over, that clip was everywhere. Drake standing up. Jay walking in. Drake saying that line. And leaving. The blogs had a field day. One headline read, "Drake checks Trouble J in front of half the industry." Another said, "Drake walks out like a boss while Jay eats dust." And fans were eating it up. But Jay wasn't about to let that narrative slide. The very next morning, he posted a video of him in the studio, holding what looked like a copy of the unreleased collab with Drake, and saying, "Since y'all like playing dirty, I'ma show the whole tape tonight. Unfiltered, let's see what the streets really think." And this, right here, is where everything started boiling over. Because what Jay dropped that night wasn't just music. It was receipts, screenshots, voice memos, even a clip from a FaceTime call where Drake supposedly said, "You know, they won't let you win unless you come through me first." The internet went insane. Fans split into sides. One side saying Jay was clout chasing, the other saying Drake was a manipulator behind closed doors. Even celebrities started picking sides. The moment Jay dropped that FaceTime clip, everything shifted. Fans went from laughing at the drama to seriously questioning what Drake was really up to behind the scenes. One voice memo in particular had people side-eyeing Drake heavy. In it, you hear Drake saying, "Look, I'm not trying to block your shine, but you move reckless and I can't co-sign that." The game already crowded, only the clean ones make it through. To some, it sounded like Drake was just being protective of his brand. But to others, it felt like gatekeeping. People on Twitter started dragging him, calling him the hip-hop landlord, saying he's been controlling the game too long and decides who gets in or stays out. Within hours, the hashtags #IndustryDrake and #LetJRap started trending. But just when the heat was getting unbearable for Timo VO, a wild twist nobody expected came from inside the family. Drake's cousin, yes, real blood cousin, took to her Finsta and posted a picture from a family dinner with the caption, "Y'all really don't know the half? Man's been stirring pots since Degrassi." Boom. Instant chaos. Fans started digging into who she was, and once the page was exposed, screenshots of old comments popped up where she had previously liked shady posts about Drake's music being recycled vibes, and then she went live on a random Thursday afternoon. With less than 1,000 viewers at first, she started spilling tea like she'd been holding it in for years. "Listen, Aubrey's family, I love him, but he plays this good guy role for the cameras. Off camera, he's calculated. He don't let nobody eat unless he's feeding them. Jay isn't the first one to feel this way. He just the first bold enough to say it out loud." Now, fans weren't just questioning Drake's industry moves. They were questioning his character. But what really took things to another level was when Jay reposted the cousins live with the caption, "The family said it, not me." And that was the match that lit the full-on firestorm. People started making compilation videos of moments where other artists had fallen out with Drake. The Weeknd, Kanye, Meek, even the low-key tension with Tory. Suddenly, they were all being reanalyzed. Bloggers were saying things like, maybe this wasn't just beef. Maybe this was a pattern, but Drake? He stayed silent. And that silence, it was loud until the next night when he finally broke it, and in classic Drake's fashion, he didn't go live. He didn't tweet. He didn't even drop a statement. He posted a black and white video of him at the piano, playing a melody with the caption, "They tried to expose me, so I let M." And then came the track. Clean House, a surprise drop on all platforms, no promo. The cover, just a blurry photo of a broom. Within 10 minutes, it had already cracked the top 5 trending on YouTube. And the lyrics, he wasn't subliminal anymore. You posted DMs, but left out the ones where you ask for advice, trying to be someone they scream independence. But call when they stuck, say, "I'm blocking your blessings." Maybe you just suck. The internet ate it up. Even fans who were unsure started leaning back toward Drake's side. The bars were sharp, the delivery was cold, and the overall tone lethal. People were calling it his best diss since Back to Back. Suddenly, Jay's momentum started slipping. The same fans who had been cheering him on earlier that week were now in the comments like, "Damn, he really said, maybe you just suck." But Jay wasn't ready to fold just yet. He clapped back on a remix over the same instrumental Drake used, dropping it less than 24 hours later. And in the second verse, he went for blood. "You trying to clean house but still got dirt. Funny how the honest one always gets hurt. You talk labels, plaques, and sold-out tours but can't face the truth behind them closed doors." He even referenced the cousins live again. "Rapping your own kin said you fake with the hug. So don't act surprised when we stop showing love." And then, boom, another twist. A well-known Toronto videographer named Malik, who had previously worked with Drake's camp, came forward with his side. In a inaugural TikTok, Malik said, "I was there when all this started. The apology Drake sent, that was real. It was genuine." Jay flipped the narrative because he thought it would build hype for his album. He even showed behind-the-scenes footage of the text messages being drafted, the phone calls being made, and Drake going back and forth saying, "Man, I don't even care about music right now. I just want peace." The internet didn't know what to believe anymore because for every person siding with Jay, There was another defending Drake. It felt like the entire culture was splitting into two. Even mainstream outlets like TMZ and Complex started covering the drama daily. Drake versus Jay, who's really the villain, became the hot topic on every podcast and rap reaction channel. And then the real bombshell dropped. Remember that unreleased track Jay teased from his session with Drake? Well, someone leaked the full thing. Not a snippet. Not a demo. The whole polished, mixed, radio-ready track. It was called Mirrors, and it wasn't a diss at all. It was emotional, introspective, 2 verses each from Jay and Drake about ego, fame, and forgiveness. The song was beautiful, haunting even, and it made fans furious because it showed they could have worked together. They could have squashed everything and given us a masterpiece. Instead, they burned it all down. Fans were devastated. One comment said they really had something special and threw it away for pride. Another read, this whole thing could have ended with this song and a handshake. Instead, we got diss tracks and cousin drama. And that's when the public turned. Suddenly, nobody wanted to pick a side. They wanted accountability. They wanted the beef to end. And that's when Jay's team started pushing a new message, one of peace. His manager went on The Breakfast Club and said, at the end of the day, both these brothers are icons. This ain't about winning or losing. It's about healing what's broken. And for a minute, it looked like maybe, just maybe, we were headed toward a resolution. But nah, the universe had one more twist up its sleeve. Because while all this was unfolding, another voice entered the chat. A legendary rapper. Someone whose name holds weight in every corner of hip-hop. And they had something to say about both Drake and Jay. And trust me, what they said flipped the entire narrative again. So just when it felt like the smoke was clearing, when fans were finally hoping for a truce, the industry OG stepped in and poured gasoline on everything. It was none other than Ghostface legend, one of the few voices respected by both old heads and new school. Out of nowhere, he dropped a surprise freestyle on his Instagram. No beat, just bars, raw in the middle of it. He said, back when rappers rapped and beef meant blood, now it's DMs. FaceTime, fake internet, love, both y'all emotional. Drizzy and J1 wanna be the GOAT, the other wanna say the comment section exploded. Everybody from Ebro to Cardi B weighed in. Cardi posted a cryptic tweet saying mans called out both of them and didn't even blink. And Ebro said on his morning show, when O's speak, you gotta listen. This ain't just a rap spat. This is egos fighting for dominance. And just when you thought the drama had peaked, a bombshell dropped from a voice nobody expected. Drake's former longtime friend, business partner, and rumored ghostwriter, let's call him Tone, suddenly reappeared after being silent for 3 years. And when he came back, he came with heat. He posted a thread on X with the title, "Since everyone's telling their truth, let me tell mine." In that thread, he dropped everything. Screenshots, studio messages, even audio recordings of early versions of songs that fans thought were written entirely by Drake. But Tone's voice was on them first. One post read, "This whole drama, it ain't new. I watched him push people out when they got too hot. I was next on deck. We were family. Until I wasn't useful anymore." The fans went nuts. People who were already on the fence about Drake now had even more fuel. Tone even posted a video from 2017 showing him and Drake in the studio. Drake visibly frustrated and Tone calmly saying, "Bro, just let me help. This ain't about outshining. It's about legacy." Drake's response, "You starting to sound like everyone else? Like you waiting on your moment. Just take it." And that's when the real narrative shift happened, because people started realizing this wasn't about one beef. This was about years of tension, control, and image. The internet started calling it the OVO system. Fans were saying things like, "You either stay in line or get removed from the circle." Even Rihanna, yes, Rihanna, posted a shady GIF in her story, a clip from that old reality show where the girl says, "The mask always slips, eventually." No caption, no follow-up. But the timing, too perfect. The Navy and the Drake fans clashed instantly, with some accusing Rihanna of taking cheap shots, and others saying she was finally free to speak since she's moved on with her life. Meanwhile, Jay capitalized on the chaos. He dropped a short film on YouTube called The Rebuild, and it was cinematic gold. In it, a fictional version of himself battles with a mentor figure who represents the industry, constantly holding him back, constantly testing his loyalty. It ends with Jay walking away from the mentor and setting fire to an old notebook. Fans were like, yo, this ain't just rap beef. This man turning his pain into art. But of course, Drake couldn't let that go unanswered, so what did he do? He pulled a move nobody expected. He booked an interview. Yup. The Sixth God, Mr. Elusive, sat down with a major streaming platform for a 90-minute conversation called Truth and Timing. And in it, he laid it all out. I didn't come in this game to play villain or hero, he said, sipping a glass of wine, but the moment you help people level up, they forget you had to bleed to build the ladder. The host asked him directly about J-Tone and the ghostwriting claims. And Drake simply said, look at my catalog. If y'all think that ain't me, then don't listen. The door's open. He looked tired, not defeated, but emotionally drained, like someone who was ready to walk away from the noise. But the internet didn't let him, because 2 days after the interview dropped, another clip surfaced, this time from a behind-the-scenes documentary. Jay's team had been filming throughout the entire beef, and in one scene, they're on a FaceTime with Tone, talking about how they're going to reclaim the narrative before Drake's next album rollout. And boom, just like that, the tables flipped again. Now fans started questioning Jay. Was this beef real or orchestrated? Was this some Kanye-level rollout plan to boost streams? Why did they have multiple camera crews during supposed private moments? People started feeling like pawns in a marketing war. Blogs started backtracking. Tweets were being deleted. And the loudest voices in the fan base began asking, is everyone lying to us? But the final nail came when Drake posted a story. Just 3 words. No context. They tried it. So after Drake posted that cold quiet, they tried it to his story. Fans knew something was coming. The internet was holding its breath, waiting for the next shot to be fired. But what nobody expected was legal smoke. Yup. Behind all the music, shade, and social media games, Drake had quietly filed a lawsuit. And not against Jay. Not even against Tone. The lawsuit was against a marketing agency, allegedly tied to both of them, according to leaked court docs. This agency had been planning a viral rollout for months, complete with staged arguments, fake leaks, controlled narrative flips, and calculated fallouts that were meant to manipulate fan reactions and create free promo for an upcoming streaming documentary. And guess who funded it? Not Jay, not Tone, but a private investor who used to be involved with Drake's early team and left badly. The plot just spun out. The claim: they used real tension, added fake receipts. It involved Drake's ex and cousin without consent, and even edited that FaceTime audio to sound more incriminating. The lawsuit accused them of defamation, breach of privacy, and malicious misrepresentation. Basically, Drake was saying, y'all tried to turn me into the villain for a storyline. And now, the gloves were off. Fans were shocked. Those who had turned on Drake started crawling back. Wait, this was fake? Nah, man, that's actually scary. They really gaslit the whole internet. But then, just when you thought the house of cards was falling, it collapsed because a member from Jay's own inner circle, a guy known in the industry as Zoe, who had been Jay's day one engineer, posted a bombshell statement. In it, he wrote, "This started as real beef. But when folks realized the attention it brought, they leaned into it. They started scripting responses, timing leaks, staging conversations. Even that walk-in at the party was planned. I was told to make sure the music cut when Jay walked in. That's when I knew this wasn't about truth anymore." And just like that, fans started feeling played, not just by Jay, but by the entire industry. Suddenly, it wasn't Drake versus Jay anymore. It was real versus fake. And fans were fed up. One viral tweet said, "So they had us fighting in the comments, picking sides, canceling people? All for promo. Nah, we deserve jail time for caring this much." Still, the emotional damage had already been done. Drake's reputation had taken hits that wouldn't heal overnight. Even if he was right, he'd still been painted as controlling, calculated, and cold. Jay, on the other hand, might have gone too far playing puppet master. His upcoming album rollout, which was supposed to be the victory lap, now looks suspect. And just when the dust seemed to finally be settling, a figure from Drake's past appeared and brought the final twist. It was Vanessa, not just a former flame, but the woman Drake almost had a child with. A woman who had famously disappeared from the public eye in 2019. After rumors swirled about a quiet settlement and a closed-door paternity suit, she posted a reel on her private page, saying, "I tried to stay silent. I really did. But when I saw them dragging his name through the mud, knowing what I know, I couldn't." And then she dropped the hammer. Everything people say about him being manipulative. Not true. Not my experience. He's not perfect, but he protected me, protected our story. When everyone wanted headlines, he paid for peace. And now they flipping the script like he's the monster. Y'all are sick. That video got screen recorded and went viral within minutes. Blogs reposted it. Twitter ran with it. The narrative was spinning once again, but this time back in Drake's favor. Even Jay started to feel the pressure. He went live for the first time in weeks. No chains, no bravado. Just him in a hoodie in a dim room saying, "Look, maybe I let it go too far. I got caught up in the attention, the hype. I didn't mean for it to be war. It was real at first, and then it wasn't. But that doesn't make my pain fake. It just makes the game messy." The comments were divided. Some fans forgave him. Others said it was too little, too late. A top comment read, "You could have used this beef to build a bridge. Instead, you tried to burn one down and sell the ashes." Then, in the most unexpected move of all, Drake reposted a clip from DJ's Live. No caption, just the clip of Jay saying, "The game's messy." Fans couldn't believe it. Was that an olive branch? And then came the real shocker. On a Friday night, Drake dropped a single called Peace Offering. Not a diss, not a flex, just raw emotion. It opened with everybody screaming truth, but they hiding to fame got us wild in, who we lying to? Used to want revenge, now I want release, been through enough pain. Just let me have peace. And in the second verse, he did what no one thought he would do. He shouted out, "Jay, did Drake try to fix the culture and get caught in the crossfire? Or was this all part of a long game, designed to keep us watching while he controlled the chaos behind the scenes?" Was Jay truly a victim of the system, or did he let ambition cloud his integrity? And what about the cousin, the ex-tone Zoe, and Vanessa? Were they all genuine players in a war, or pieces on a chessboard none of us could see clearly? Because if there's one thing this saga taught us, it's that in 2025, rap beef ain't just about bars, it's about perception, power, and who owns the narrative. Fans are still divided. Some say Drake came out cleaner than ever. Others say the damage is done. And Jay, he might have lost the war, but some believe he won the people's respect for being raw, flawed, and real. But here's what we want to know from you. Was this the biggest culture reset we've seen in the past decade, or just another flashy distraction masked as drama? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Team Drake or Team Jay? Was it real, or was it all staged? What would you have done in their shoes? Make sure you like this video, subscribe for more real meets fake rap news, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the next explosive update. Because in this game, nothing's ever what it seems, and everybody's got a story to tell. This was Channel Name, and you already know. We just report it. Y'all decide what's real. See y'all next time. Keep your phones charged and your ears open. Peace.